Monday in Manhattan. Jared Wassinger here with Jason Hilders, and we got two special guests with us today. John Adam with our Community Development Department and Jared Tremblay with the Flint Hills Metropolitan Planning Organization. We're here at the intersection of 9th and Yuma by the Douglas Recreation Center because we got a demonstration project going on that you guys have been working on. So can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, we're working on a bike ped system plan, and part of that planning process, we're doing a lot of public outreach, and we're doing it in the form of these demo projects. This is our third one. We want to do a few more yet this fall. This one, of course, is like a lot of the other ones. We're doing a bulb out to shorten the perceived distance of the street, or width of the street, but of course the travel lanes are still the same width that they were beforehand, so cars have no trouble passing. But people feel a lot safer when they walk up to that intersection and want to do the crossing. They can see better down the street, and they are better seen by the automobiles. And because it appears narrower, it also makes cars want to slow down just a slight bit going through that intersection. Would you say?
Yeah, I would agree. It's a very popular intersection. People go in between the breadbasket and the Douglas Center here, so we just wanted to test a high-use location.
So you guys mentioned a bike ped systems master plan that the city and the MPO are working together towards.
Yes.
You started that process. I think you got a steering committee going. You're also trying to get some public input. So could you maybe tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the systems plan is supposed to be a 20-year plan, and the current one that we have for bike systems is already 20 years old. We thought it was time that we needed to do something about reviving that, adding the pedestrian component to it as well, because pedestrians have to get around as well. And so we're coming up with a list of projects for the next 20 years. We're going to prioritize them. We're going to look for the ones that are the essential routes that we need to cover and build the infrastructure for in those 20 years. Some of them, even the high priorities, may not be the ones that are necessarily that part of that core, but they will get done within the 20-year time frame. Jared?
Yeah, just to continue on with that, we're tying in together with the bicycle and pedestrian systems plan, we're tying in the trail prioritization project that's going on. That was part of the sales tax that was passed in November of 2017, I believe. So those two projects will kind of work together, and we'll prioritize both of those sets of projects separately, but there could be some overlap there, and that's really what we're looking for to really leverage each of those projects.
And I know you guys have done other ones this year. Where else have you been?
Yeah, in April we were at the intersection of Fremont and North Manhattan Avenue at City Park in the south side of Aggieville there. A lot of pedestrian traffic. Met with hundreds of people, a lot of impact there. We've also been in City Park working with Parks and Recreation, and then about 3 weeks ago we were on the Hudson Trail. We did 3 intersections there: Londonderry, Inglewood, and Churchill. And those were just up over the weekend, and again, just to give people a chance to interact with the street in a different way. You know, currently Kimball is under construction, so there's a lot of traffic that is diverting through the neighborhood, and so it was a really opportune time to try some of those things, and it was quite effective.
So if we're seeing a lot of high pedestrian movements through intersections like these, it makes it safer. But ultimately, are we advocating then through Public Works, city administration to actually physically make these improvements permanent?
Well, I think one of the advantages of these is that if we think that there's an intersection that could benefit from it, we can deploy this. We just did this in a few hours this morning. The reflective paint that we put down means it can stay up overnight for a few days, and these stanchions stick in place. If they get knocked over, there's no harm to them. There's no harm to the vehicle if it hits it. This is an easy way to test what you think you might want to do. Right?
Take it a step further, there is the potential to always make this permanent. However, we're doing similar projects in Junction City, and after one of these projects, they decided that they did want to make it semi-permanent, and so we're going back in with some more long-term product. It's not going to be concrete, that's just too high of a cost, but there is kind of this is a very short, temporary, very cheap. There's an interim semi-permanent level that could be done as well.
Right.
So there's an example in Aggieville that I think we're going to explore, 12th Street between Morrow and Bluemont.
Right.
We have a lot of options for us to explore from a streetscape landscaping perspective. Growing the sidewalks, eliminating parking. We've actually talked about a demonstration that would take parking away, temporarily bring the sidewalks out, work with the adjacent owners to possibly extend their businesses, sidewalk dining, a 3 or 4 day, over a weekend experiment.
Right.
We literally are coming back with a project next year. So it would be a decent test, and we'd love to have you guys involved with that.
Oh, yeah.
To look at how that is received, just the experience itself, and whether or not that investment then can be followed up.
I think part of active transportation is also making the street a living place. And that part of that involves also having people out there using it, enjoying it, sitting out there, having a good time. You see more people, it draws more people.
Right.
It's also then a safer environment.
Absolutely, and you touched on this, John, but these materials are extremely cheap and they're reusable. So that's one of the great things about these demonstration projects is, you put a little bit of money in and you can reuse it and reuse it and reuse it. And so yeah, that'd be a great opportunity to try it.
We'll definitely be in touch. Make sure you guys are involved in it.
All right.
So this bike ped systems master plan, essentially what I'm thinking is we're gonna have this plan that's gonna have identified streets with additional bike lanes. It's gonna have additional parts of the neighborhoods and commercial areas with more sidewalks, wider sidewalks, places where there aren't sidewalks but we need sidewalks. And then the intent is, as we do maintenance projects, roadway reconstructions, is to incorporate this master plan into those areas. So over the next 20 years, we have more of those dedicated bike lanes, maybe protected bike lanes. We put in those sidewalk gaps and put in that concrete so more people can access from a pedestrian perspective.
Yeah, that's the ideal. Certainly, is when you approach a street reconstruction or doing some work on it, that you do a comprehensive approach to that.
Yep.
And catch those gaps when you can. And if it's a widening for a sidewalk, do the widening at that time. I think what we're concentrating on is making the network complete for bikers and for pedestrians, because we don't have any streets that really go somewhere and then stop suddenly. That happens with sidewalks.
So, before I let you two go, is there any way that the public can provide feedback on, hey, I think a bike lane needs to be there, I think there needs to be access in this sidewalk, I'm walking on the street right now to get to certain places.
Yeah.
Where can individuals go to provide that feedback?
Well, they could email me, and then there's a project website.
There is a website
Yeah.
through the community development page. There is a
Yes,
there's a
that's right.
specific website dedicated to this. Again, it's called the Bicycle Pedestrian Systems Plan. You can go there and it'll take you to a link, and you can either email John or you can go to a web map, and it's very easy to use. You can just click and point and draw in or call out places where you feel something needs to happen, and we will get that
We'll put
information.
that link then in the comments section of this Facebook Live and
my email.
And John's email, and please give us your feedback. All right.
All right, thanks,
All right,
guys.
Thank you.
John,
Thank you.
Jared, thank you. Appreciate it. Jason, a couple other topics for Monday in Manhattan. Furniture Amnesty Day was on Friday. Again, it was our 13th year. We had a record number of pieces of furniture donated, over 700. There was a lot of people there, a lot of volunteers. I want to thank K-State School of Leadership Studies and the Mandela Washington Fellows, as well as the Kanza United Way, and then of course our Parks and Recreation and Code Services and Fire Department staff helped out with that. So it was a good success, and we'll look forward to keep doing that every summer.
It's something that keeps growing. It takes a lot of effort and energy from our staff. I throw out a big thank you to the CMO office staff for taking all those calls. We have interns, we have administrative staff helping out with that and making that event just a success every year. We're down here at the Douglas Park. We have a $4.5 million indoor recreation center we're talking about building. It's entering into a final design phase right now. It's about a 17,000 square foot facility. It'll be constructed just across the street here on Yuma. It's an opportunity for this area to grow from a geographic standpoint, recreational opportunities. Our Douglas Community Center today serves a need, but we're outgrowing that need. We have indoor activities that are pressuring the current size of our facility, and we need it to expand to bring more opportunities to this area of town. The geographic approach was something that we discussed way back in 16 and 17 as we were putting together our ballot question for the Quality of Life .25, where we're building our 2 middle school recreation centers. Those should start construction early 2020. The Douglas Rec Center should also start construction early 2020. So we will complete a net total of 10 new gyms to the community 10 new courts to the community by way of just basketball in reference to size. It'll be 3 facilities, but we'll be able to program 10 courts in addition to our current inventory.
So funding for the facility is part of the ballot initiative for that 0.3 permanent sales tax increase. I know, in talking with some of the people who've been at the Douglas Community Center and just the court space demands, they'll have 50 people in the gym at one time, and with only one court, you gotta wait. You may be able to get in one game or so it's gonna really add to that comprehensive indoor recreational gap on this part of the community. So the middle school gym is going to fill those gaps on the northwest and northeast sides.
Yeah, I think we've had a great opportunity this morning, great weather. I think we're ready to wrap things up.
Yep.
Well, we're going to step indoors for a quick second. The traffic noise is making it a little bit difficult to hear, which, great that this is a busy intersection. This is a great place to test. But if you guys will hold on just a minute, we'll be right back.